Are you wondering why the rich stay rich and how their wealth keeps flowing from one generation to the next? Well, today we're going to uncover what the rich won't tell you about generational wealth and inheritance. Spoiler alert, it's not just about having money, it's about knowing how to keep it. By the end of this video, you'll discover the secret strategies that protect wealth for generations and how you can apply these strategies to secure your own financial legacy. This isn't just for billionaires. Anyone can learn from the wealthy and use these techniques to safeguard what they've worked hard to build. Trust me, the system is designed to keep most people in the dark, but after this, you'll have the flashlight you need to see what's really going on. So grab a seat, subscribe, and let's dive in. Let's dive into the intriguing topic of what the wealthy often keep secret about generational wealth, the inheritance trap, and what typically happens to most fortunes. First, let's talk about why most people lose inherited wealth within a couple of generations. The rich know something the average person doesn't. Passing on money is easy, but keeping it in the family is a different story. Studies show that 70% of wealthy families lose their wealth by the next generation, and 90% lose it by the generation after that. That means 2 generations is all it takes for hard-earned money to vanish. This might seem shocking, but it's the cold, hard truth, the main reason most heirs aren't educated on how to manage, protect, or grow that wealth. Imagine someone handing you a multi-million-dollar fortune when you've spent your entire life living paycheck to paycheck. It's a recipe for disaster. You've never had to worry about protecting it, never had to deal with complex investment decisions or tax loopholes, and suddenly you're responsible for managing a fortune. The problem: money doesn't come with an instruction manual. Now, the ultra-wealthy have figured out how to dodge this bullet. They've created entire systems to ensure that their money doesn't disappear into thin air the moment their kids or grandkids get their hands on it. They don't rely on blind luck or assume their offspring will magically figure it out. They plan meticulously long before the baton has passed. They know that inheritance can be both a gift and a burden depending on how it's handled. But here's the kicker: it's not just about how much money you leave behind, it's about how you structure it. And that's what makes the difference between a wealthy family that thrives for generations and one that's broke within 2 decades. Let's talk about how they do it. You might think that wealthy people are sitting on mountains of cash or have gold bars stacked up in secret vaults, but no, one of the biggest secrets about how the rich protect their wealth is the use of trusts. Think of a trust as a protective shield for your assets. Why trusts, you ask? Because trusts are the ultimate loophole in asset protection. You see, when your assets are held in a trust, technically they aren't yours anymore, they belong to the trust. But here's where it gets interesting: you still control everything. The rich don't care about owning things, they care about controlling things. That's the key distinction. When you own something, it comes with liabilities like taxes, lawsuits, and regulations. When you control something through a trust, you get all the benefits without the drawbacks. Let's break it down. A trust is a legal entity separate from you. Once you place your assets into a trust, whether it's real estate, stocks, or businesses, they legally belong to the trust, not you, but you set the rules: who manages it, how it's managed, and who benefits from it. On paper, you look broke, but in reality, you're controlling an empire. This is how some of the wealthiest families in the world, like the Rockefellers, have been able to retain control of their fortunes for over a century. Their assets are hidden away in trusts, shielded from the prying eyes of creditors, lawsuits, and even the government. And because the wealth technically isn't in their names, they're not slapped with the hefty taxes that drain most estates. It's like having your cake, eating it, and then keeping it safe in a vault for future generations. Think about it. While everyone else is busy flaunting their wealth, owning yachts and mansions with their names plastered all over them, the rich are quietly controlling their fortunes from behind the scenes. It's the ultimate flex. and nobody even knows. And the best part, the money keeps growing generation after generation because it's safe from all the typical pitfalls that drain family fortunes. This what the rich won't tell you about generational wealth and inheritance. This leads us to what I call the Rockefeller formula, which combines trust with strategic use of life insurance and family foundations. If you want to build generational wealth, here's the roadmap the rich follow. First, they set up a family trust to hold all their assets. It doesn't matter if it's stocks, real estate, or businesses. These assets go into the trust, which is carefully managed by trustees, often trusted family members or professional advisors. Now here's the kicker. The family members don't own the wealth. They control it, and control is the name of the game. Next, the Rockefeller method uses life insurance as a financial engine. When a family member passes away, their life insurance payout goes right into the trust, replenishing the family wealth. This creates a waterfall effect. Every generation leaves more wealth for the next. But let's dig a little deeper. Why do they use life insurance this way? Life insurance, especially when structured as permanent, life insurance provides a guaranteed payout that is tax-free. That's right. The payout from life insurance isn't subject to the same estate taxes that can cripple an inheritance. By the time the IRS comes knocking, the wealth has already been passed on clean, untaxed, and ready to grow in the hands of the next generation. The Rockefellers understood that building generational wealth isn't just about making more money, it's about keeping that money in the family and, more importantly, growing it in a way that ensures it's never depleted. The life insurance policies they set up don't just cover funeral expenses, they are massive financial tools that allow the trust to continue growing even after death. It's a beautiful cycle. One generation spends, another dies, and the trust keeps getting refilled over time. This creates a financial engine that is almost impossible to stop, and all of this happens quietly behind the scenes while the family continues to live in wealth and luxury. Now you might be thinking, life insurance isn't that just for when someone dies? Well, not for the ultra-wealthy. They use life insurance as a living bank account. Let me explain. While most people think of life insurance as something you use after death, the rich use it while they're still alive. The ultra-wealthy overfund their life insurance policies, allowing them to grow tax-free. Once they've accumulated enough, they borrow against their life insurance policies. Yes, borrow from themselves. That way they have access to funds without selling off assets or paying taxes on capital gains. This concept of infinite banking is like turning life insurance into your personal bank. You overfund the policy, then take loans out against it, all while the money in the policy continues to grow, tax deferred. It's like having a self-sustaining pool of wealth that you can tap into whenever you need. But here's the kicker. When you borrow against your life insurance, it's not considered income, so you don't pay taxes on it. Think of it like this. They're earning money on their investments, tax-free, borrowing money at low interest rates, and using that borrowed money to invest in even more assets. And because they're borrowing from themselves, they don't pay taxes on the money they take out. It's a genius system, and the rich know how to use it to their advantage. It's not uncommon for the wealthy to use life insurance to fund new investments or even to purchase homes and luxury items, all without ever selling anything. They're leveraging their life insurance policies to generate even more wealth, essentially becoming their own bank. What the rich won't tell you about generational wealth and inheritance is that life insurance, when used correctly, becomes one of the most powerful financial tools available. It's a way to keep money growing without the IRS or creditors ever getting their hands on it. Once you've protected and grown your wealth, the question becomes, how do you shape your legacy? For the rich, this isn't about just passing on money. It's about controlling their wealth in a way that ensures it continues to reflect their values and vision for the future. Enter the family foundation for families like the Rockefellers and Carnegies. Foundations are not just about charity, they're about control. By establishing a family foundation, wealthy individuals can direct how their money is spent, even after they're gone. And here's a key detail: the rich won't tell you. Only 5% of a foundation's funds need to go to charitable causes each year. The other 95% can be invested, managed, and grown again outside the reach of taxes. You've probably heard of billionaires like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett donating huge chunks of their wealth to charity, but don't be fooled into thinking they're just giving it away. Family foundations offer a huge tax loophole. When billionaires move their money into these foundations, they avoid massive estate taxes, all while retaining control. How the money is used? Not only does this make the family look philanthropic, which is great for PR, but it also allows them to continue influencing society long after they've passed, whether it's funding universities, research projects, or humanitarian efforts. The rich use foundations as a way to secure both their wealth and their influence. In fact, many wealthy families will pay their family members full-time salaries through these foundations. So not only are they keeping the wealth within the family, but they're also ensuring that future generations have access to the money under the guise of working for the foundation. It's a win. Win tax savings and control. So while it seems like they're giving away money, the reality is they're just setting up another structure to ensure their wealth stays in their control legally for generations. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far and want more topics like this, comment the word generational wealth so I know. All right, let's explore a captivating subject that the rich won't tell you and often remains hidden from public view. The family office, the wealth manager behind the curtain, managing all these moving parts, trusts, life insurance policies, foundations, requires expertise. That's where the family office comes in. A family office is essentially a private wealth management firm set up to serve one family. It's like having an entire financial institution dedicated to making sure the family's money stays protected and grows. The family office isn't just about managing money, it's about managing everything they handle, everything from tax planning to investment strategies, legal issues, and even personal concierge services for the family members. Imagine having a team of experts whose sole purpose is to ensure your family's wealth doesn't just survive, but thrives. For the ultra-wealthy, a family office is the glue that holds everything together. It's not just about today's wealth, it's about ensuring that wealth keeps growing for future generations. And the level of detail that goes into this is staggering. Family offices don't just handle investments. They handle succession planning, educating heirs about financial responsibility, and even crisis management for when things go wrong. Think of the family office as the ultimate financial bodyguard, quietly making sure no wealth gets lost in the shuffle. They're the behind-the-scenes masterminds, making sure that when one generation steps aside, the next one is ready to take over. It's an exclusive service reserved for families with significant wealth, but it's what ensures that the money doesn't disappear. The family office also acts as the gatekeeper for family investments. They ensure that every investment opportunity is vetted and that all legal and tax implications are considered this way. No bad decisions slip through the cracks and no money is lost to poor investments or risky ventures. One of the biggest threats to generational wealth is taxation, particularly inheritance and estate taxes. For the average person, this can wipe out a significant portion of what's passed down, but the rich have developed strategies to sidestep these taxes almost entirely. How? By using trusts, foundations, and life insurance, they minimize their tax liabilities. Trusts, for example, keep assets out of the taxable estate, and life insurance payouts pass to heirs. Tax-free. Foundations allow families to give away money while maintaining control and reducing taxes. Let's face it, taxes are a wealth killer, but for the rich, taxes are just another hurdle to be overcome. They know how to play the game, and they use the tax code to their advantage. Take estate taxes, for example. When most people die, their estate is taxed heavily before it can be passed on to the next generation. But the rich They use trusts to move assets out of their estate, avoiding those hefty taxes altogether. The same goes for income taxes. By borrowing against their life insurance policies or using charitable donations through foundations, the wealthy can avoid declaring large amounts of taxable income. They don't play by the same rules as everyone else because they've learned how to use the system to their benefit. And it's not just about avoiding taxes. Today, the wealthy are always thinking ahead, planning for future generations. They structure their wealth in a way that ensures it will continue to grow tax-free for years to come. So what the rich won't tell you about generational wealth and inheritance is that it's not just about earning more money, it's about protecting what you have, controlling it without owning it, and passing it down in a way that ensures it grows with each generation. By using trusts, life insurance, foundations, and family offices, the rich have perfected a system that keeps their wealth growing for centuries. But here's the best part: you don't have to be a Rockefeller to start building generational wealth. The same principles that the wealthy use are available to everyone, just on a smaller scale. Set up a trust for your family. Look into how life insurance can serve as more than just a death benefit. Educate your heirs on financial responsibility so they don't fall into the same trap that drains most family fortunes. As we wrap up this informative video, remember the path to generational wealth isn't out of reach. It just requires careful planning, discipline, and a willingness to think long-term. You can build a legacy that lasts even if you're starting small. What the rich won't tell you about generational wealth and inheritance isn't just a secret, it's a strategy. It's time to take control of your financial future. Remember, the secrets to generational wealth aren't out of reach. You just have to know where to look. Now, if you found this video helpful, I highly recommend watching my next video, which is the perfect complement to this one. Do not hesitate to share this video. It may help someone subscribe to the channel for more insights on how to take control of your financial future. You are welcome to share your thoughts on today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.